Hello there and welcome back. I hope you guys are having a fabulous day. It is really bright. I'm totally squinting. I'm sorry about that, but it is so beautiful outside. I don't want to put the shades down at all. So I recently shared with you my summer home tour, and in the comment section, I asked if anyone was interested in a chatty walkthrough version of the tour, because I know some people like that type of tour as well. I got a lot of responses that said yes, so that is what I'm going to do today. I'm going to take my camera down, we'll do this vlog style, and it should be a lot of fun, so let's go ahead and jump right in. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and start in the dining room, and starting on the table, I have this gorgeous candle holder. I actually gave this to my mom a few years ago, probably like 10 years ago, for a Mother's Day gift. And she recently gave it back to me because in her new apartment it's just too big. So I love it, so I wanted to use that. And then I added this little pitcher that I got from the thrift store with this little bouquet of flowers from Michael's. And then I just stuck in some cute little flags. And then I have this cute little item right here. It's like, I don't know what you want to call it, but it's adorable. And it's got a little spoon. And I just love all the little detailing on it. Oh, goodness. I can't do it with one hand. There we go. All right. So anyways, I added that into the mix because I thought it was cute. And then I have the whole thing corralled on this red tray, which, you guys, I've had this tray for probably 20 years. It's a little dinged up, but it still works real nice. So that made a quick little centerpiece for the table. And then the star of the show, if you ask me, is this gorgeous tablecloth. This tablecloth was one of the very first vintage tablecloths that I bought. I found it at a garage sale years and years and years ago. I've only ever used it a couple times because I'm always afraid to get it out because it's going to get ruined, because I absolutely love the colors, the red, white, and blue, the floral, and then it's got the little lattice work on the side. I just think it is absolutely gorgeous. The tablecloth actually fit just perfectly on the table, like normal wise, and it just kind of fell over the edge like maybe a 1/4 inch, and I thought that looked kind of silly. So I turned the whole thing so that I get this nice little triangle fold on each of the sides, which I think is a nice little look. So that is the table. This, you guys, this is silly, but it is really bothering me that this chair is not painted white. That'll have to happen here pretty soon. I actually used to have 2 of these chairs, but one of them fell apart and I couldn't fix it. So now I have to paint this chair over here. What is going on? Mama's busy right now. I'm trying to record a video. Yeah, you're so adorable. Okay. Can you wait 5 minutes? All right, thank you. All right, let's see. So then over here on the Hutch, I really didn't do much. I bought these little paper medallions, maybe 3 years ago, 2 years ago. I can't remember exactly. I got them off of Amazon. If you look up there, I'm sure they still sell them. I think they're so fun. I think they came in like packs of 10 or 12 in various sizes and designs, and I just think they're so much fun. So I just hung one there. I didn't do anything on the inside, but then up top, I added this little flag, which is a quick DIY that I did years ago. It's basically just one of those big, like, I think it's like a 12 by 18 flag that you can get on like the little stick, you know, but I just stretched it over a canvas and stapled it on, and it is a quick little flake art. So I'm loving that. I pretty much take it out every year for 4th of July at least. And then moving on over here, I have this little piano bench that I painted years ago, and I think it looks really cute here, just sitting in front of my windows. And then on top of that, I have this old tool tote, which I recently did a tutorial on. I will make sure to link that down below in case you guys are interested in. But for my spring home tour, I filled it with ironstone pieces, and I loved it so much that I really didn't want to change it. So I just took out a few things and then added a couple new things to add some color into the mix. The first thing I added was this red transferware. I think it's a sugar bowl. I found it at the thrift store. I don't have the lid for it, but I still love it. And it was like the perfect spot for that. It's perfect size. So I love that. I kept this gorgeous postcard that a subscriber sent to me. Love the pop of red and pink. And then I just added some paper medallions in the small size to add a little bit of color. And I think this is a super cute display. Quick and easy. I love that you can repurpose old displays to make it look new for your new look or whatever without having to totally redo it. So just keep that in mind. And when you're decorating, just take out a few things, add a couple new things, and you've got a whole new look. So anyways, moving on to this little area over here. Now, this area I didn't really change up at all. Still got the mirror up top. I still got my desk with the oil lamps on it. This is a sneak peek of something that I just found at the thrift store. So I threw her up there. And then on this area, I didn't really do anything new. I had this over here, and then I just added this gorgeous tin to add a little pop of red into this area, and that's about all I did with that. Alright, so then we're moving on to the Hutch. I kept everything on top the same as for my spring decor. I still love those baskets. I still love this greenery that I picked up at Hobby Lobby. I think it is so pretty. So I just kept that. And then I started in with the red, white, and blue on my Hutch. And I absolutely love how it turned out, you guys. So everything on the Hutch is pretty much from the thrift store, with the exception of a few things. The first one being like the greenery and the flowers. These flowers are one of those bouquets from Michael's. I love them. This one is a larger one, and I just popped it into a pitcher. And then I have the flags, which you can basically get anywhere nowadays. I've had these actual ones for quite a while. And then the greenery here is actually from Walmart. I think it's called Baby's Breath. I think that's what they're calling it. But I love that. But so far, everything else has been thrifted. And then, of course, I've got this greenery over here as well. I have had this for a really long time. I cannot remember where I got it. I want to say it was either Walmart or Hobby Lobby. But I just love it. It's got that airy feel to it. And here you can see I added another medallion. This little printable I have had for years. I found it on Pinterest. I printed it out. I needed something to go in this gorgeous frame. You guys remember when I found this at the thrift store? Or maybe it was an antique store. I can't remember, but I fell in love with it. And of course, look at the little flags on the bottom. I think that is so cool. So I needed something because I didn't have enough time to get a picture. I really wanted to put a picture of my dad in it, like his military picture in there. But I didn't get a chance to get to my mom's to get a copy and get it put in there. So for now, I've got that, and I think it's nice. Adds a little more pop of color to the mix. And then I did add some just blue and white items because I was kind of running out of things to use. I wish I had some more red and white. It would have been nice to have one red and white picture and then one in the blue. But isn't this just gorgeous? I love it so much. So anyways, as I was saying, everything is pretty much thrifted. And when I was decorating this space, I really didn't know what I was going to do, because typically I put the red plates with the red plates and the blue plates with the blue plates, and I thought this year I would mix it up to see how it turned out and what it looked like, and I really like how it turned out. So that's just something I tried. And here I even mix the red and the blue together because I didn't have a red saucer, but I wanted the saucer on each side, so that is what I had to do. So anyways, that is what the Hutch looks like, and I absolutely love it. Alright, so next we're going to be in the living room. Now this place, it gets a lot of wear and tear throughout the day, so I'm not quite sure if everything is the same way as when I had the home tour done. So we'll start over here on this side table. Hopefully I can get this without a glare. This has changed up. When I originally did the tour, I had a fake asparagus fern here. It was just on a small side. Well, little Miss Quinn decided it would be a great little chew toy. So she took that. So all I've got left is my framed flag print, which is actually dated on the back 1942, which I think is pretty cool. And then I've got this rock. I love rocks. I don't know if you guys know that about me, but I collect them anytime I find a cool one when I'm out camping or hiking or whatever. If I see a cool rock, I totally pick it up and bring it home with me. Alright, moving on to the next thing is this armchair, and on it I just have this simple flagged pillow. This is one that I made years ago. I think I made it from a big flag itself that I thrifted. I can't remember, but I think that's what it is. But I've had it for a long time. I like to use it every year. It's kind of a nice little accent, and so I'm loving that. And then over here, I added some artwork, which I didn't really highlight in my home tour. But this picture right here was thrifted, and it is one of my favorite paintings that I found at the thrift store. And then because it's kind of had that wilderness kind of theme going on, I added this one right here, which is one of my paint by numbers that I finished recently. And I think it turned out really cool. But I'm really perturbed because it doesn't wrap all the way around the frame, which is really annoying to me, but it's okay. I can live with it. I'm going to have to for now until I can get a slightly smaller frame. But I really wanted to use it because I think it is such a pretty picture. So I got the canvas stapled onto the frame, and then I got that hung up, and I think it looks really nice over here. And makes me want to do more paint by numbers because I know I'm already obsessed with paint by numbers. You guys might know that about me already. If you watch my Instagrams and all, I'm constantly, that's all I want to do is paint by numbers. And because you come up with these gorgeous paintings afterwards, and I think it is so cool. So anyways, enough about that. Let's move on to my favorite part of the living room, and that is this flag display. I think this turned out so cool. The flag itself is very sentimental to me. It was my dad's flag that he would fly in his yard every summer until it got too frayed on the bottom that he could no longer fly it. But I am so glad that he kept it because I absolutely love it, and it is now a treasured item of mine. I definitely wanted to figure out a way to use it. I've used it like folded up, you know how you're supposed to fold a flag, in the past, but I really wanted to do something special with it this year, and so I decided to hang it up here. I just have it tacked up with a few nails. I've got a nail there, and then one here, and then one over here as well. It's not, and it's just kind of draped over the nails, and somehow it's still staying up there, which I'm really quite surprised about, but I love how it turned out. And then of course I had to add some things on the bottom section just to finish off the grouping, and it's on the verge for me of being overly cluttered, but at the same time I really like how it looks. So there's a fine line, folks, of a little too much or too little. So anyways, here is what I have used. I started off with a couple books, red and blue. I have this little crock that I found at the thrift store, and then I got a white cookie cutter, and then I made these frames, or not frames, I didn't make the frames. I made the photo mat in a recent video. If you guys watched that, you'll know that already. Otherwise, I will link that down below. So I wanted to add that photo, and this is like my favorite picture taken on 4th of July of Emily that I've ever taken of her. I just love it so, so much. She was totally into the 4th of July decor that year. So I was happy to capture that moment and that day, and I just love the picture. So I wanted to add that into the mix. Then, of course, I've got this little mason jar that has this twisted wire on it. I found it at the thrift store, and I just added a candle to that because you always have to have a candle in a display, right? And then I have another crock here, which I think is pretty cool. I love the crocks that have the little metal tops on them. I don't know why, but I just love those. And then I started off by placing this little cute red stool, which I have had for years from the thrift store. I don't even know how many years I've had it. It's been so long I don't even know how much I've paid for it. And then I added this little eagle plaque that I found at a flea market. I'm obsessed with like the eagles, the metal eagles that you'll see on people's like houses and sheds and things like that. And at the time I was looking for one to hang, but I couldn't find one, but I found this. So I snatched it up, and I think he looks pretty good right there. And then on top of the bench, I added this crock, which a friend of mine just gave me. It's actually my very first like official crock. I don't know why, but I've always kind of like shied away from them. I don't know why. They're not, something that I have really, truly liked in the past. I know a lot of people are really into them, but I'm kind of slowly moving in that direction, and this was a great little beginner piece for me. I thought I could use it for flowers like this, or like put my rolling pin collection in, things like that. So I'm like, oh, that is so cool. I was so glad that she gave that to me. And then of course I added these little flowers in here. I want to say these are from Hobby Lobby. I like that they've got leaves that kind of look like boxwood to me with the little white flowers. I just think that is so cool. And then next to it on the bench, I added this little postcard of George Washington. I found this at a flea market years ago and rediscovered it when I was going through things once we moved here. So I'm like, oh, I gotta remember to use that for my 4th of July decor. So I've added him, and I'm using one of those little restaurant wear menu signs. If you guys saw the thrift store haul lately where I found a whole bag of them, these things are awesome for, things like this. And then I have a blue, what do you call this? I'm blanking. Oh, cookie cutter. There we go. A blue cookie cutter to round off the bench little look here. Alright, so then moving on, next to the bench, I have this topiary tree, which I think is super cute. I found it at the thrift store. It was only $3, and I'm like totally snatched that up. And I just have it sitting inside of this crock that I picked up at IKEA. I think they have things similar. I don't know if they're quite this style, but I know that they sell this size quite a bit, which is a great size for their little fake plants. And then I just added some rocks in creamy white colors, just to add a little bit more interest to that. This little plaque in the back, I love the eagle on it. It was also a thrifted item. I just thought that was really cool. I found that a couple years ago. I think this is the first time, maybe the second time I've actually used it, because I don't know. Sometimes I buy things and I have a really hard time figuring out how to use them. So they just sit around and I store them for years, and then all of a sudden I think of an idea and I can get to use it. So it's sort of frustrating, but at the same time, sort of cool. So then next to that, I just have this cute little jar with another little flag in it, which I think is adorable. And then next to it is this silverware drawer chest that I just redid in my latest makeovers video. And then next to that, I have this amazing DIY that I just did. It is a silverware chest, and I love how it turned out. I think it is so cool. I will link that video down below. I think it was like 5 makeovers or something like that, but I love how it turned out. The handles on it are so cool, and I've just got a little lace handkerchief sticking out of one of the drawers. I think I got this from my mom. I can't remember, but I just love the lace edging on it, and I like how it's kind of tucked in and poking out of the drawer, and I think that looks cute. And then we have this little display on top, and you guys, I don't know what it is about how simple that this display is, but I absolutely love it. It's like one of my favorite little displays that I put together, and it is so simple and so easy, but I don't know, something about it just speaks to me, and it has all things that I love. It has this really pretty vintage photograph in the little cardboard, frames that they used to come in, which I think are so cool. I found that at a, wasn't a flea market. I didn't find that one at a flea market. It was at a antique store of some sort. and I just loved it. I love the detailing and the shape of the frame itself. And of course, I love the picture in it. I think they just look so happy. But anyway, so I've got that tucked on top of this gorgeous thrifted book in red and blue. How perfect is that? It even has little stars on it, you guys. It's just perfect. And then I have this gold eagle, what do you call it, bookend, which I think is so cool. It was actually a gift to me from Jamie from Border Bananas. She gave it to me, and I love it so much. I think it's so cool. It says 1776 on it, and I just love it. And for some reason, those three things sitting on top of this little chest of drawers just does it for me. So anyways, that is what I put together for this little display on top of this gorgeous vintage flag. I love how it turned out. Then moving on to the fireplace area and the mantle. Now I wanted to keep this area super simple because I felt like there was a lot going on over here. So I wanted to keep this pretty easy going over here. The first thing I did was add this right here. I'm blanking on the name of them, but this was actually the banner that I hung in my window when my sister went overseas. So it has sentimental value for me, and it, as you can see, is totally faded, and I am not getting rid of it. I don't care if it's faded or not. Look how faded it is. It's terrible, but I just love it. It means a lot. It represents a time for us as a family. So I'm going to be definitely keeping that. I'm sorry I jiggled so much. I had an itch on my face. So anyways, I loved that. So I wanted to add that, and I wanted that to be, you know, something that will stand out. So that does that there. So then I added 3 flags. These are the larger size. I want to say they're like 18 by 20. I'm not really sure. I can't remember. But I bought them off of Amazon. I'll make sure to link those down below if you're interested. They're also the ones that I fly out front of my house. If you saw the home tour, I started outside on the porch, and these are the same size that are flying out there. And I just added them to a large mason jar. And then I have this other little jar, which I think is so cool. I think it's like a syrup jar or something like that. It's got a tinge of blue to it. And then, so I added that to the mix, and then I have it sitting on top of this bench. Now, the bench is still there, and the jar, this jar, is still there from my spring decor. I liked how it looked there, so I just took out the flowers that were in this jar, added the flags, and then switched out a different mason jar for this one, and there you go, a new look. Oh, I can show you this little area too. Nothing's really changed over here. We still have the little sewing table that I I painted years ago. I love it. It's got so many cute little details. Then we've got this reproduction radio, record player, DVD player, that sort of thing. It's actually my daughter's, but I've been using it for a couple of years now, so I kind of figure that it's mine at this point. Then I've got my diffuser, which I love. And then I just added this little candle. I think this is from like the dollar section at Target or something like that. And then I have this really cool clock that I found at a flea market, and I love it. It's in some rough condition, as you can tell, but I don't care. I love it. So I added that as well. And then I have this painting right here. It's not a painting. It's a print. I found this at one of my favorite stores in Cheska, Minnesota, and I just fell in love with it. So I picked that out. I think I redid this frame, and that is in one of my little makeover videos. I'll try to link that down below as well, in case you didn't see that. But it looks so much better, and I just love this print so much. Alright, so then moving on to the mantle itself. Like I said, I wanted to keep this area super simple, and I started off with this gorgeous print. It's just one of those pictures, you know, that are printed on that kind of like hard cardboard sort of stuff, but I love it. It does have a little signature down here. I don't know if you'll be able to see that. Robert Wood something. Can't really make it out, but it's a great painting, a reproduction painting, and it didn't have a frame, but I had this white frame, so I thought that worked out nicely. Added that to it, and I just love it. This reminds me of like camping. Like this is where like, I feel like I'm sitting in my camper looking out over a lake. That is so awesome. But anyways, and of course I love the little red house roofs. I think that's so cool. So anyways, so I've got that picture in the middle, and then I added these wood stars. I have had these a really long time. I painted them red. I'm pretty sure I bought them originally at like Michael's or something. These are actually wood, but I do know that Michael's has like the paper mache versions of these type of stars. So if you're looking for something similar, that would be a good option. And then I have these mirrors. Oh, you guys, I just recently redid these mirrors. I have had them for years. One of them was from my grandfather. They're by Homeco. And then the other one was one that I found at the thrift store. I just love them. You can't really tell right here, but they do have the curved mirror, and I just think they are so cute. I love them. I want to say they're like the Federalist style. Is that right? Those of you who know. I haven't ever seen one in white and gold before, but I wanted to make them over into something that I know I would use. Like I had one originally was brown, the one from my grandfather, and I eventually painted it black, and it was great. But then the other one was like brown with gold accents, and I just didn't like the color. So now I gave it a little makeover, added a little bit of gold detailing, and I really like how it turned out. I think they're so cool. And then the final thing on each side of the mantle was to add a little bit of greenery, and I chose these gorgeous asparagus fern plants from IKEA. They're faux. I love them. I don't know why, but I really like asparagus ferns. So these faux ones are awesome. The bowls that I use, I believe, are by Gibson. Let me see here. Yeah, Gibson. Found these at the thrift store. They're a great shape. They kind of got a nice little fluting on the edges, and then of course the little detailing as well. And I just plopped the plant down in there, and it's not quite tall enough. You can kind of still see the black of the pot, but I don't care. It works fine. So I added one on that side, and of course I added one to the other side. Hi there. How are you doing? Oh, big stretches. Big stretches. Now she thinks it's time for a pet. We'll give her a little pet. And off she goes. Oh, she's back again. Okay, well anyways. Oh, you're so cute. So I just wanted to share with you the pillows. The red pillows right here. I have made the pillow covers for them. I have the inserts are just from IKEA. They're down feathered IKEA inserts, which you guys, if you watch my channel, know that I love those. They're the 20 by 20. On the fabric itself, I bought it at Walmart. I think they still have it. It's been a couple of years since I've made it. But if they don't have this particular pattern, they have something very similar. And then the blue and white and red striped ones, I just recently did in a recent video. I will link that down below if you're interested. And then the quilt. I love this quilt. I made it years and years and years ago. It is not perfect by any means, but I love it. I made the stars out of red ticking stripe and blue ticking stripe, and I think it turned out so great. I just love it. I want to say that I have a tutorial on it from like way back when I started YouTubing. I'll check and see. If I do, I will make sure to link it down below. It was a great, like, kind of beginnerish quilt, and I think it turned out fabulous. So, anyways, that is what I've got going on the couch. Hello, how are you? Oh my gosh. Okay. So on the coffee table, I once again kept things super simple. This gorgeous runner from the thrift store is one that I used in my spring decor once again. I just added this basket and a whole bunch of hydrangea stems. These are all full, of course, so that it will last a while, and I think it is absolutely gorgeous. And then I added this red lantern. I knew that I had to add this somewhere because I love it so much. It is actually a lantern that we have had for years and years, and it was starting to get rusty and gross. So I took out the glass and the little mechanism down the bottom, spray painted it red, and then now it looks fabulous. So I love that so much. And then I also added a candle. This is just a really cool shaped jar that I found at the thrift store. I've just got a very simple white candle in it. And then I've set the whole thing on this milk glass plate. Here, it's a little hard to see the plate. Let me show you a little closer. I think this is so cool. It's got the eagles around it, and then it's got the stars on it, and then on the very top, which is now going to be upside down, it's got the little flag. So I thought that was really cool, and I love that it's milk glass, and I've had it for quite a few years, and I've added it here and there, but for something that I love so much, I don't use it very often. So I knew I needed to get it out, and I thought this would be a good way to use it, and I think it turned out pretty cute. That is my simple little table display. I can sit here on my couch and look at my lovely displays. Alright, so then we can move on into the kitchen. Things have changed slightly in here. It's been about 3 days since I actually recorded my home tour, so of course my table is not set all pretty like it was before, but I do have the centerpiece stuff here. Gorgeous set of thrifted salt and pepper shakers. I love those. And then I have some more white hydrangeas. I mean, you really can't go wrong with white hydrangea if you ask me. And I've got them in this adorable soup tureen, which is on top of a ironstone plate. And I think it looks like a nice little display there. So the runner itself is something that I just made. If you watch that video, I made like 5 projects or something like that out of this fabric that I found at IKEA last summer. I fell in love with it. I mean, the red, the white, and the blue stripe, how perfect is that? I just loved it. So I popped the fabric like a little bit before we decided we were going to move, and then never got anything done with the fabric itself. So I rectified that problem a couple weeks here, and I will link that down below. This is just one of the projects that I made with the fabric, and I love it so much. So because I don't have the place settings still on the table, I'll just insert a clip real quick, and we'll chat about those real quick, and then we'll move on to the rest of the kitchen. Here's a look at the table from before. I started with the red and white gingham chargers from Hobby Lobby, added a white plate that I found from the thrift store, then layered on a small red and white plate. This is actually one of my favorite patterns. It's called Strawberry Hill by Syracuse China. It's restaurant wear, and I have quite a few pieces. And finally, I layered on some thrifted stemware and silverware. I don't have all of the dishes still on the table. I still think that this adds a nice little touch to the area. It's simple, it's pretty, and pretty practical for everyday use. So that makes things easier. So then we can move on into the kitchen. I'm sorry that the lighting is not great today. It's rather cloudy out, and the clouds keep going in front of the sun, so it keeps getting lighter and darker and lighter and darker. So sorry about that. There's not much I can do about that. And let's see, we'll start over here. I have this sweet little, oh, I'm gonna get such a glare, sorry. But it is an adorable little strawberry print. I found it at the thrift store. I want to say it's by Homeco. It had a brown frame, which I, as you can see, painted and then distressed, which I think looks so much better. But I just love this print. I think it is so cute. And then I have this really adorable picture with the sweet little strawberries on it. This was sent to me by one of my subscribers when we did a, what did we do? We did a thrift swap or something like that quite a while ago. But yeah, she sent this to me, and I love it. I love taking it out every single summer, and I think about her every time I do. So then I just added some more of those baby breath stems that I picked up at Walmart, and then I just added a simple white candle from IKEA. Then we've got my husband's coffee station, which we'll just skip right over. And then, let's see, here is my little area behind the sink. I added a few things. I didn't really highlight much of it, but I have this ice lip pitcher. I love collecting them. I have like 4 of them. So I got a red and white one. I actually use this on a daily. I'll fill it up with water that I will take over to the dog's water bowl and fill up their water bowl. I don't know, it's just how I do it. I've always done it that way. It's nice and easy to have a quick little pitcher that you just fill up and take over there instead of going and picking up the dish. I don't know. It probably makes me sound lazy, but for me it just makes it more simple. So that is what I do. I always like to have a pitcher sitting out somewhere in the kitchen that I can grab, fill up with water, and water the dogs. So anyways, this is the pitcher that I decided I'm going to use for the summer, and I love it. And then next to that, I've got my little, what is this? I can't remember what it is. It's got Alexa on it. I can't remember what it's called. I'll link it down below in case you guys are interested. But I absolutely love it. I sit here, I can watch my Netflix on it, I can watch my YouTube on it, I can listen to music, I can ask it questions, it can tell me stories. I love it. So I'll use that quite a lot when I sit here and do the dishes. And then I've got this cute little house down here. I found a whole box of these little wooden toy houses, and I like to add them here and there around the house. I think it's kind of fun. So I think they're fun. And then let's see, up here I've got a faux plant. This is a faux majesty palm. It's a little baby size that I found at Michael's a couple years ago. Put that in a vase, or a pot, I'm sorry, and then I added another rock for my rock collection. So I've got that sitting up there looking very tropical in the sun, in the windowsill anyways. And then I have these adorable little salt and pepper shakers. These are like my favorite. These are so delicate. I'm afraid to touch them, but I love them so much. So I decided to add them up here where they're nice and safe because I like to see them. So those 2 are hanging out there nice and comfy. And then off to the side here, I have my 2 vintage scales. And I didn't really know what to do with them, but I knew I wanted to add them onto this counter area. So I decided I would add a few of my fun little vintage boxed or packaging items. So I've got some jar rubbers, I've got some nutmegs on this first one, and then in front of it I have this gorgeous little shifter. I'm pretty sure a subscriber sent this to me. Isn't it gorgeous? I just love it. So I added that for a little pop of color on the bottom. And then on the second scale, which I should mention, this second scale I found at a antique store. And then this one I found at the thrift store. Like, this was my first scale I ever bought. And it was probably like 15 years ago I found it. So anyways, it's been around a while. And then on top of this one, I've got this cute little salt and pepper shaker I found at a church sale. They only had one of them, but I was not leaving him behind, so I think he's super adorable. And then I've got a baking powder tin and a mustard tin, and I think that looks pretty cute. So that is the sink area, and then we can move down here into the corner area where I placed this cute little painting. I believe I found this at the thrift store. I have yet to get around to painting the frame, but that's alright. It works just fine. And then I added these false graph canisters that I recently found. Let's see, I have the medium, no, the small and the large. Still looking out for the medium one. But then I just added a cute little IKEA candle into the mix, and I think that fills up that corner nicely. And then over here, I have this little cutting board, which always sits here. I love to like put a wooden spoon right here, or a spoon I think I'm going to use when I'm preparing dinner. So like, I don't even put it in the drawer, I just put it right here on this cutting board so it's ready whenever I need it. And then I like to add a few decorative things like this thrifted cutting board. I also found this thrifted false graph piece. It's a little covered dish. I've been told it's a jelly jar. I'm not real sure because it does have the hole in it for a spoon. And then I have this piece right here. It is a, what do you call it? Pioneer Woman piece. And it's just the little mini casserole dishes, which actually holds some of my rings at the moment, that I take them off when I do my dishes. And I just love it for the little pop of color. I am loving the red and the blue, the white with a little hint of yellow. I wish she had more dishes in this actual pattern because I love it. So I've got that in the mix there next to my stack of cutting boards, which I use on the daily. And then over here on the stove, I've got this gorgeous red speckled enamelware percolator, coffee percolator that was given to me by my good friend Jamie from Border Bananas. She just recently gifted it to me and I absolutely love it. So it will sit here ready to make some coffee. And then I have this sign up here, which I think is so cool. It's kind of got like that enamelware look to it. I found it at Michael's a while back, and it would be absolutely perfect for my black and white kitchen that I like to add touches of red into. Oh, let's see. I don't really think I did anything new. Oh wait, yes I did do something new. Just to round off the counter space here. This little tray I made a while back. I can link that down below if you guys are interested. Oh, come on, focus. There we go. There we go. I made it actually for my husband to like corral his stuff on top of his dresser. But when we moved here, I didn't give it back to him. I decided that it would look really good in my kitchen instead. It was super easy to make. It's using my paint scraping technique, which I absolutely love. And I think it looks really great out here. And it brightens up all of the black counters that I have. So anyways, I did do a few changes. I added this wire trivet tray, which used to be hanging on the over by the sink. So I took that down and put it there, and then I switched out the flowers in this crock. This is another bouquet from Michael's, but I did add a couple stems of hydrangea that I made, I had left over from making my other arrangements. And I stuck them in here to make it look a little more full. So loving how that turned out. So that is all the counters on this side of the kitchen. So now we can go over here. Now this area, I went completely all out, you guys. This is like my one little spot in the kitchen where I feel like I can go crazy with my decor. So I wanted to do red, white, and blue. I don't have a whole lot of blue items, but I have a lot of red and white. So let's go through it, shall we? Starting in the back, we have got, it's just a plastic, like picnic print red and white tray. I believe I found it at TJ Maxx last summer. I loved it, so I picked it up. Then I've got a little medallion stuck in there. Then I have a crock filled with some plastic handled white silverware, which I absolutely love. I've had those for years. And then I've got this little cake server right here. I love the handle on that. Look at that. That is so awesome. Then I have these adorable little salt and pepper shakers, which were sent to me by a subscriber, and I absolutely love it. Then I have this red and white creamer and these gorgeous red cookbooks. They're all vintage. This first one, recently given to me by Jamie, and the other two I have thrifted. I love the pattern on this. Isn't that fun? They all look great together. And then I have my mixer. Now I had a hard time figuring out what to put in my mixer. The first thing I did was drape these napkins over the side because it's got a little pop of blue that I wanted to add into the mix, which I don't have a lot of. And then it sat empty for a really long time until I finally decided, well, I'll throw in these red tins and see how that looks, and I like how it turned out. So that is how I kept it. Alright, so then moving on to the other side of the display, look at these amazing red Friggies. Oh, you guys, I am so in love. These were a recent gift to me from Jamie. She is amazing that she gave these to me. I am so in love. I have been looking for these for ages, and I've never been able to find them. But now I have 3 of them, and I'm so happy. I want to use them and see them all day, every day. So for now, they're in this little display that I get to enjoy. And then this kitchen timer is something I recently found when I went shopping with Jamie and Nicole. So I'm loving that. Of course, I had to throw that into the mix. Then I have this little adorable personal creamer in red and white. And then I have a red tin. I've got a little bit of blue down here with this blue cookbook. And on top of that, I layered this gorgeous red, white, and blue scarf. And then on top of that, I have another ice slip pitcher from my collection. And this one has the great wide red band with the white detailing on it. I think it is so cool. Then I've got back in here a red and white and black thermos sitting next to my vintage mixer. Isn't it crazy that most of this stuff was found at the thrift store? There's like, what, 3 items here that did not come from the thrift store. Everything else, I know for a fact, was thrifted by someone else or was thrifted by me, and I think that is absolutely amazing. You guys are gonna laugh at me. I almost forgot to share my counter centerpiece. I was just going around the outside of the kitchen, but I remembered, so now I'm just filming this on my phone real quick like. So, started off with this wood piece. I just made this. I've made many of these, but I wanted a nice big long one for the counter because the counter is so big. It's just a piece of wood painted black, and then I paint white over the top of it and scrape off the white paint, and it gives this nice little wood grain look. I have a whole tutorial on it. I'll share that with you guys if you haven't seen it already. But I love it. It's like my favorite technique to make things look a little weathered. But anyways, moving on. I have this adorable cup. And I found it at the thrift store. I think it was only a couple dollars. And I think it is so fun. So I like switch it back and forth. So I can't decide which is my favorite side. I think maybe this is my favorite side. But anyways, I've just got some bendy straws in it that are very patriotic looking. And then I have my red-handled rolling pin. And then I've got this little cookie cutter with a red handle. I don't have a whole lot of items with red handles, but I'm always on the lookout for them. I have maybe a handful of different things. But I just wanted to add a couple things. I didn't want it to go overboard with that. But then I added this, kickstand. I believe this was from Hobby Lobby last year. I fell in love with it. It's just plastic, like the plastic plates kind of thing. But I loved the picnic print on the top, so I had to pick that up. On top of that, I have this gorgeous little eagle statue that a friend of mine just recently gave me. I'm like, oh, I totally ought to use that. And then I used some of the medallions, just half size, and I opened them up, and I just kind of taped them to the cake tray. And I think it kind of makes a fun little display. It'd be kind of fun if you could do this and then put like treats on the front of it. I think that would be really fun for like a picnic or something. So I may do that if I can remember, if I ever need to decorate a table for a picnic. That'd be kind of fun. And then I have a little stack of plates here. These are from Walmart, and I just love them. They're Pioneer Woman. I got 2 of the blue. I think I've shared these before with you guys. And 2 of the yellow. I love this yellow print. But I just got them because I thought they would be a nice little colorful thing to use in my kitchen for the summer. And for like, quick little meals out on the deck. So I picked those up, and I've been using them around the kitchen ever since. They're really fun to use to stack on and stuff. So I decided I could use this because the top 2 are blue, so I would go. And then I just added this little, I think it's a sugar bowl. Isn't it gorgeous? I've had this for a really long time. Sorry, I'm so jiggly here. I've had this one a really long time, and I just think it is really, really pretty. So I wanted to add something like that into the mix. And then, of course, I added some salt and pepper shakers because you can never have too many of those around. And then you guys might remember this red gingham box that I recently thrifted. Isn't it fun? We talked down in the comments of that thrift haul about all the fun ways to use this box, and what I've decided to do was add some faux hydrangeas in blue, And then I opened it up, and then I just stuck in some vintage photographs, and I think it looks so cute. So that is the display that I have on my counter for now. So what do you guys think? I think it turned out pretty good. It feels so patriotic. It is bright and cheerful and fun. It's got a ton of little vintage treasures, which I love in my decor, and I am just so pleased with how it turned out. So I'd love to know what you guys think in the comments. I would love to know what your favorite display area of the house is. Or if you have any questions, just let me know and I'll try to answer those to the best of my ability. So yeah, I guess that is going to be it for me today. Thank you so much for watching. Hit that thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so already, because I like to do a lot of decorating. I do thrift hauls and, you know, general lifestyle sort of videos here on my channel. All right, guys, have a fabulous day, and I will see you very soon. Bye now.